Today we're going to be making cinnamon butter cookies using the drop method, and we're halving the recipe, which will give us 21-ounce cookies. We'll start with the ingredients. First, we have 7 ounces of all-purpose flour along with half a teaspoon of baking powder. Then we have 1 3/4 teaspoons of ground cinnamon along with 4 ounces of unsalted butter softened. Next, we have 3 ounces of granulated sugar, and then we have 4 ounces of brown sugar. After this, we'll be using 1 egg and 0.25 fluid ounces of vanilla extract. We'll also be using a pinch of salt for this recipe. And for the topping, I've pre-mixed 2 ounces of granulated sugar and 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. First, we'll start by sifting 7 ounces of all-purpose flour in a large bowl with a sifter. And then we're going to add in our half a teaspoon of baking powder along with 1 3/4 teaspoons of ground cinnamon. And we're just sifting this together. We're also adding just a pinch of salt instead of incorporating it into the actual dough, just to make sure that it's well combined. After this is done being sifted, just set it to the side. Now we'll start mixing the wet ingredients. We'll start off with 4 ounces of unsalted butter softened while adding in 3 ounces of granulated sugar. Next, we're going to add in the 4 ounces of brown sugar, and we're just going to mix this until it's light and fluffy. While this is mixing, I'm going to go ahead and start scraping the side of the bowl with a spatula just to make sure that my mixer is getting everything incorporated. Now I've cracked 1 egg and beat it in a bowl, and just add the egg into the bowl with the wet mixture, and we're just going to mix this until it's well incorporated while continuing to scrape the sides of the bowl. Now that the mixture is starting to look right, we're going to go ahead and add the 0.25 fluid ounces of vanilla extract and continue to mix until the batter is well incorporated. Now that we've got the right consistency for the wet mixture, we're going to go ahead and move to our dry ingredients again that we've set to the side. I just have a small measuring cup, and little by little, I'm going to go ahead and add the dry mixture to the wet mixture. So just taking a small measuring cup and adding it to the wet mixture, and we're going to incorporate this before we add any more of the dry ingredients. This is the consistency after adding the first little bit of the dry mixture, and we're going to go ahead and add a little more and continue to incorporate the rest of the ingredients into the wet mixture. This is the final consistency after adding all of the dry ingredients and letting this chill in the refrigerator for 10 minutes. I have a baking mat covering my cookie sheet. And the recipe calls for a number 30 portion scoop, but you really just want to get 1 ounce. I have a scale covered in plastic wrap in order for the mixture not to stick to my scale. You're just going to scoop the mixture, and you want to start off by measuring it on the scale to make sure it's 1 ounce. After portioning the cookie, you just want to roll it into a ball and then toss it in the cinnamon and sugar mixture. And then you're just going to place it on the baking mat. Now I have 12 cookies on this mat and 8 cookies on the other mat. What we're going to do is take the same measuring cup from earlier. I've just put a little bit of oil on it, and we're going to just take it and smash the cookies down to about half an inch. Now I've preheated my oven to 400 degrees, and these will go in for about 9 to 11 minutes. So this is the final product. I did bake my cookies for 9 minutes. They turned out great. They were soft on the inside and a little crispy around the outside. And the texture was overall really good, and the flavor was good. And I enjoyed making these.